it's a dream come true really, because I've been waiting so long and you start to lose hope. I've literally been here my whole life, fortunate enough to be here my whole life. He could do everything wrong and I would still love him and think he's the best thing in the world.
Good morning everyone, this is True Horses. Welcome to our channel. Make sure to subscribe. My name is Valeria and today we are in the UK, in Berkshire, visiting a British international under-25 Grand Prix dressage rider, Megan Ingham. We are very happy to be here because a couple of months ago, Megan bought a horse from True Horses, our beautiful Lammerdale. You must have seen him on our social media, and if you haven't, definitely go check him out, link below. We're at her house in Berkshire today. It's a beautiful place. We're gonna show you everything and see how Lamour is doing. Let's go and have a look. Hello Megan.
Hello.
It's really nice to see you and be here. And tell us please, who is this next to you?
This is the gorgeous Lamour, who was obviously used to be owned by you just as of about a couple of months ago now. He's just been with me, been at my yard. He's a 6-year-old by Glamourdale and Jazz, the new love of my life, literally. And yeah, he's a new member of my team. He's absolutely gorgeous in every way. He's a gelding. And he's literally just got the best attitude in life, really. And I'm hoping that he will be my future star.
Amazing! We're so happy for you. Tell us, please, when you first saw him and when you first sat on him, what was your kind of impression? What did you have in your head?
I mean, summed it up. I just saw his face. He's just gorgeous. I mean, everyone does. You know, you shouldn't fall for that. But yeah, I just saw him as gorgeous. I think just he had such a calmness to him.
Yeah.
And even though he's so playful, he was so mature at the same time. He's just unbelievable. He's such a baby, but then just has the best character to him. And I mean, he went outside at Richard's. There's birds. There's everything going on. I think it was awful weather. It was raining.
Remember?
It was windy. Yeah, it was horrendous. And he was just like, that's fine. Nothing's a problem. Everything I threw at him, there was nothing that was a problem. He literally didn't put a foot wrong, and that is just pretty priceless, to be honest. And then, I mean, I've probably been looking for about 1.5 years for a baby.
When you told me that, I was like, it's not possible not to find a horse within 1.5 years.
I know.
And then just come one time.
I know, and I'm like,
fall
this
in
is
love.
the one.
Second time and take him
I know,
to your
take
place
him
in
away.
1 week, literally.
I know, exactly, and that's the thing. And I said to the co-owners, Stephen and Michael, I spoke to them only a week prior to go and see him, and I was like, I'm going to see this horse. I've seen loads. Don't get your hopes up. I've no idea. Don't even know. I didn't know much about him. But you're so local, you're 20 minutes down the road, so I was like, I've got to go, you know, see what it's like.
And remember, we just messaged by mistake with you.
Totally.
You weren't even asking me about horses. Yeah. And then you just saw his photo. He was like, oh, can I have, you know.
I was like, let's have a look, see if he's got any babies. And then, I went home and I spoke to Stephen and Michael about it. And then I called you and then came back again with my mum and rode him again, you know, pushed more buttons, see what else I could throw at him. And I loved him even more the second time. And he's just amazing. There's nothing really I would change about him. And I mean, I've been looking for so long because I'm picky and I wanted something perfect. And he's perfect. There's nothing I would change about him. And I just think he has a very bright future and he's just so trainable. And you can't get that into a horse. You know, he's either trainable or he's not. And that for me was just extremely important. So, I mean, that's why.
When they say cannot be a perfect horse, here he is.
Yeah.
Really, look well.
He's just amazing. Like he came here and put him on the walker, put him out, put him in the stable, rode him, took him inside, outside, everything. And then 4 or 5 days later, took him to world-class training on my own, put him on the lorry, took him to stables, met everyone, dealt with everything, the saddler, the vet, everything. And he was like, everything is fine. You know, he was unbelievably calm. And I mean, I'm sure he's been like that his whole life, but for a 6-year-old, that's amazing, let alone even for an 11, 12-year-old. And he's just amazing. He's such a happy horse.
Megan, I think after this video, you'll have to lock his book twice.
Yeah, I know. I will.
Be...
Exactly. And when I went to world class training, I was just like, no one's ever getting their hands on him. He's mine forever. And he's just gorgeous, and he just makes me really happy. I want to ride him every single day, for every single hour. He's just amazing. So it's a dream come true, really, because I've been waiting so long, and you start to lose hope. You know, you think there's a million horses in the world, but I want one in a million. So, good boy.
Hello. So what's your kind of everyday routine with him? What do you do? And
it really depends, I guess. I would say probably I ride him 4 times a week. Probably go to school 4 times a week, and then he'll go and hack once or twice, and then have a day off, sometimes 2 days off. It literally completely depends. But yeah, I try to take him to school, but I mean, that's just different things. Either I'll lunge him. I've done a lot of pole work with him recently. Normally I'd kind of take him around the field, not really with this hard ground, but take him around the field, trot and canter. I mean, he's so good to hack as well. It really helps him with his walk and things like that. So I like to do that. And then, yeah, I mean, he's good. He just goes in the field all day. So when he has a day off, he's just out in the field, and it's just nice. So that's rather easy. So that kind of is him, really. If he's not going to training, you know, I go to Carl's probably every other week, so we'll go and do that, go to world class and things like that.
You know what, just before he left, I had this idea in my mind that I should start working with poles with him, because I thought it would be nice for his passage training.
Exactly. And it's so funny because he goes from this like little trot to like literally knees above his ears. But again, he was so good. He went in and he was like, what are these poles? And then literally on the first one he was like, yeah, not a problem. And he was just so calm and so relaxed about the whole thing. So that makes it easy as well. But it's definitely good for them. I do it with all of them, but I mean, especially with the young ones.
I know that you like me and that you miss me.
Yeah.
It's your new mommy here. Now it's she gives you treats, not me.
I know, that's the problem. I give you way too many.
We'll let you tuck him, untuck him, and then maybe get some grass with him.
Yeah, good plan. You are literally a dog.
Megan, it looks like a very nice place here. You've been born here and...
Yeah, I've literally been here my whole life, fortunate enough to be here my whole life. My family moved in literally the week I was born, so I grew up. I mean, it wasn't what it is now. It wasn't quite as equestrian as it is now. But yeah, my mum kind of built this all up, built more of the stables, built the arenas, built everything. You know, set up a whole...
So there were no boxes initially?
There was 2.
Okay.
There's 2 boxes, and now there's 7. You know, there's an indoor, there's an outdoor, there's a horse walker. You know, none of that was there before. So my mum built all of that up. And yeah, so now it's, you know, an amazing place to call home.
Your mum is also a rider, right?
My mum is a rider, yeah. She used to compete a lot, train the horses, train with Carl. Now she's more of an owner. She owns a horse with Carl.
But how was it for you to be born on an equestrian facility? Was it natural for you to be with horses?
I think it was, yeah. I'm unbelievably fortunate. I can't take that away, most definitely. I've been surrounded by horses my whole life. I've got 2 older sisters. They both rode as well. My middle sister, who's now an equine vet, she was an event rider, and I evented all the way up to I was 18. It's only really been the last few years that I've done dressage. But yeah, my mum's... Yeah.
Wow, I haven't known that.
So I'm 23, so it's last 5 years really I've just done it. I mean, my mum, of course, she was always in the background. She was always here with all of the dressage horses. So, you know, I was out eventing, but I was always at home riding her horses and helping her and things like that. But yeah, my mum was always solely dressage, and I mean, I've just watched her train and just train other horses. She's had a lot of very successful horses. She's trained 2 horses up to Grand Prix.
And so it was never a question for you. Horses were a part of your life, and every day since your childhood you would wake up and do horses.
Pretty much, yeah. Wow. That's very much it. I haven't really done anything else besides that, and I think it is just always a part of your life, and it's hard to get away with them when, you know, you see them every day. You know, you can't really be without them. So yeah, it's very much always been a part of my life, and I wouldn't really have it any other way.
And so Megan, with Lamour being 6-year-old, being your kind of main horse at the moment, what do you focus on training with him?
I think there's many things. I think when I first got him back here, I was just getting used to him, finding the buttons, seeing how I could get used to him. And I think it's just working on, as you say, the basics with the young horses.
Yeah.
You know, he's just so lovely and easy in the contact, and he's very together. He finds it very easy to collect. So it's just getting him to move forward, move free, be more independent, self-carriage, all of those type of things, because, you know, he is so light in the contact and he can do everything you ask, but he's got to kind of figure out a little bit on his own and have that more balance. You know, I like them really off the leg, so it's getting them more forward, getting them to listen to me. He's got to get used to my age. I've got to get used to how he is. Also just taking him to different environments. I took him to the world class, getting him out hacking, getting different arenas, everything like that, seeing what he throws at me, seeing how he reacts, so that, you know, when he goes and does a test, I know, or I might have some idea of what he's going to do, whether he drops behind the leg or he gets faster or whatever it is. So I'm able to kind of manage that. So it's just really getting used to them, and I feel like I'm still learning, even though I feel like I know him so well and I know his character, and as well just getting used to him in the stables and what he likes, what he doesn't like, what's good for him, what's not good for him, his feed, everything.
Yeah.
You know, I just need to get to know him as a character and a horse and his dislikes.
Megan, the question that worries me the most, when are you planning to compete?
I think September is my plan, to take him out, hopefully somewhere like local, Wellington or something like that. But it's a very exciting day. I've been asked that question many times.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it. He could do everything wrong and I would still love him and think he's the best thing in the world. So
wow, that's really a good quality, you know, because I don't know, we're gonna talk about it later, of course, about your ambitions and everything, but it's so amazing when you're not pressuring yourself and therefore your horse to get that result, and you're just enjoying the process. Do you have any, I don't know, tips about how to remain in that mindset?
I think it's just, especially at the beginning, you know, why put pressure on yourself? You're still getting to know it. You know, no one goes out and does a Grand Prix straight away and gets 80%. So why should you expect the same with a young horse or a lower level or anything? And as everyone says, if you don't win, you're learning. And it's a very cliche saying, but it's true. And all of the bad tests I've had, I've learned a lot more from than the good ones. And, you know, if the horse is trying, then that's all that you can really ask for.
And today we also get a chance to meet Coral, Megan's mom. Thank you so much for showing us around and letting us, you know, having us at your place.
You're welcome.
I've had a look. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
And if you can tell us about a little bit how, you know, did you get into riding in the beginning, and how did you end up having this equestrian facility at your house?
Yeah, well, I started riding when I was 4 years old. But I had lots of gaps when I went to university, and then when I got my first job, I bought my first horse and worked full time and did horses part time, and then eventually, many years later, bought Monk's Hall, and then did horses full time basically then.
Okay.
And my daughters rode as well, so this was full. We had lots of horses and ponies here.
So you were always an equestrian family, kind of?
Always.
Or your parents, or?
Not my parents, no. They were not horsey at all.
Okay.
So that's why I had to wait until I could afford my own horse.
Yeah, I can imagine. And would you please show us around, because it's so pretty and we would love to our followers to see around.
Sure, yeah, no problem at all.
So, as you told me previously, this was the first part of the land that you bought here, right?
Yes, just this small area here. No stables, no arenas, nothing. So, yeah, I basically built everything from scratch.
Even the house? The house was
No, the house was here.
Okay.
Just the house, but no equestrian facilities at all.
Okay. But you were, from the beginning, you planned to have those equestrian facilities here?
Yes.
Okay.
I had some horses I kept elsewhere, so I brought those here.
Yeah.
And the girls are very young then, so they didn't ride at that stage. But then when we bought this place, they started to ride as well.
Okay, wow. It's really amazing to have your children be born into already horses at your house,
Yes, yeah. We're a big equestrian family. My middle daughter's an equine vet, so Yeah, horses are our life. Yes, very
Wow.
much so.
So
That's my old dressage stallion in there, actually.
Oh wow!
He's
What's
a
his name?
He was a Grand Prix dressage stallion. His name's Vincent,
Okay.
and he's just having some food in there on his own because the other one's a bit fat.
He stays out most of the time.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
he lives out.
amazing!
Yeah, he did well. He had a good, successful career. So yeah, he went to Grand Prix, and then I had another chestnut before Wanadu who went to Grand Prix, Vaki now.
You competed them. You trained them, right?
Yes.
As
yeah.
well as Wanadu. You
Yes.
bought it at what age?
6.
6.
I bought him as a 6-year-old from Holland,
Okay.
and he was so naughty.
Really?
So naughty. Yeah, really. I fell off 3 times in the first few weeks
Wow.
of having him. He was wild, but he settled down, and he's just a bit like Imhotep. He loves to work. He loved to work. So he had so much energy all the time. So
Tell us a little bit about Imhotep, because he's now been to World Equestrian Games and World Championship, and he got placings. It's amazing.
He's incredible. He's so young and has so much energy and so much talent. And yeah, we're very, very excited. I've had him since he was 4.
Where did you discover him?
Carl bought him
Ah.
originally and asked me if I wanted to share him. So I went to Carl's to see Rob riding him, and I just fell in love with him instantly.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought he was amazing.
At the age of 4.
Yeah, yeah.
So what were the criteria that you thought, okay, this will be a Grand Prix horse?
He had 3 really good paces, amazing canter, really good walk and trot, and he's so elastic, he's so athletic and elastic and loose through the body, and you never know at 4 years old, but you can hope, you have an inkling that they have what it takes, the talent and the conformation and the gaits, hopefully the brain, to become a Grand Prix horse.
Wow.
But he was also very naughty when he was young, very, very
Really?
naughty, and lots of
It's
people fell off him as well.
how with training you can improve that, no?
Yes, yes.
And is
Managing all the energy.
yeah, amazing. I feel like Charlotte is very good with that also,
very good
you
with
know.
that. Yeah, she
So
is.
the plan is for him to to be ridden by Charlotte.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, interesting. And do you plan any other rides for yourself?
No, not at the moment. No, I think it's over to Megan now for the competing.
Wow.
Yes.
You're pressuring her a bit or no?
No, not too much. No, I don't need to. She's
She's
quite
lovely.
self-motivated,
Yeah.
so I don't need to put the pressure on, which is
amazing.
nice. Yeah, it's nice that way.
And have you ever thought about breeding? Because,
Yeah, we're talking about that now because Megan's sponsors are very keen on breeding, and so we probably will venture into that with them.
wow.
Yeah. So that
Wow.
would provide Megan with horses for the future as well, which is what you need. Obviously, as a rider, you
Yeah.
always need horses coming through.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is the inside arena, right? Over
That's the
there?
indoor arena. Yes. Yeah.
That was built after obviously you got the place
Yes.
years later.
Yes. Yeah.
Was it hard?
Really hard to get the planning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, how did you manage?
I don't know, really. We're very lucky. We were initially turned down, and then we went to appeal, and then I was actually at Carl's, staying at Carl's for several weeks with my 3 horses.
Yeah.
And I had the phone call from the consultant to say that the planning had been granted.
Okay.
And we could build the indoor arena. So I just screamed.
Just
with
for you to
joy.
understand, it's almost impossible to have a land in the UK without any buildings and get not only house outside arena, but the indoor arena built is almost
Yes.
impossible, no?
So hard in the UK.
Yeah.
Really, really, really difficult.
Look at this beautiful place. This is incredible
Thank you.
what you've done here. And
Thank
when I just
you.
came, I told Megan, this is a bliss.
Thank
this
you.
is what every dressage rider or any rider wants to have. You know, when you don't have, a big stable around you and you can just focus on
Yeah.
your riding. I think you're doing so great for Megan and her future
Thank you.
career. Oh, you have some pictures.
Yes.
Sorry, you or Megan?
All of us, actually. So on the far left is Megan,
It's jumping? Or?
Show jumping at Windsor.
Really?
Yeah.
She used to show jump?
Yeah, she used to show jump
Wow.
an event before she did dressage.
Ah, like your middle daughter as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Then Wanna Do, and then that's Beau, the top one, and then that's the other chestnut Vaki now that I trained to Grand Prix
Okay, wow.
before Wanna Do, and then my other daughter dressage, that's my Grand Prix stallion you've just seen out in the field,
The black one.
the black one,
Yeah.
and then Charlotte show jumping.
Okay, Charlotte is your middle one that used to event and...
Yes, she's
Okay.
to event and she's now an equine vet.
Wow, that's so convenient to have your daughter
Yes.
as a vet.
Brilliant now because she can do all my veterinary work and
Do you still have to pay bills?
save me loads of money.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing.
So yeah,
Beautiful.
that's brilliant.
Very
Thank
nice.
Thank you. And that's Megan up there when she was eventing actually
Wow.
at Frickley.
You know, Megan sits so nicely in the saddle. I cannot imagine her doing anything else apart from dressage.
Yes,
She's made for it. She sits
she is.
beautifully.
Yes, yeah, she's got a really good position, really good seat.
Who is that, Coral?
This is Wanna Do, our superstar, who I trained and rode at Grand Prix, and then Carl competed him internationally. And then obviously Megan did young riders and under 25s with him. So yeah, he's now retired, but we still ride him
Hello.
and hack him, and he's 21, he's still fighting fit and still looks amazing. So yeah.
Was it your one of your first horses to train fully to Grand Prix
Yes.
and compete? Wow, that must feel very satisfying.
Yes, yeah. He's very special.
Hello.
And he knows it.
And then he was a schoolmaster for Megan.
Yes, yeah.
So Megan, how is it actually to be born into an equestrian family where your mom and both of your sisters ride? Has there been any challenges? You know, both of your sisters, one of your sisters was riding in the end, you know, sharing horses or things like that?
I'm sure my mum would say yes. Not that I can really remember. I think it's because we're all so different. My older sister, when she rode, she was very into the dressage, even from the early stages. And then my other sister, she was always in the eventing, and then I was in the eventing. But I mean, we both, I don't know, we both really enjoyed the eventing, and we both kind of were lucky enough to have our own horses and things and enjoy that. So I think not too many problems that I can remember. I think we've all done it a little bit differently, which I think makes it probably the best way.
What took you from eventing to dressage though?
Such a good question. I almost look back and I kind of think, how did it really happen? How did I kind of come across that decision? I think it's because I had done as much eventing as I thought I wanted to do and I could do. I did the under 18s, competed for the Southeast, did my first one star. I had a cracking little event pony. I had so much fun, and I remember thinking, you know, I want to do this while I'm still young. I want to enjoy it. I want to have fun. You know, most younger kids, they jump. That's what they do. They don't do the dressage. And so I'm glad I did that. And then I remember, you know, I was always riding mum's horses at home, the younger ones, the more experienced ones, and just learning so much, watching my mum ride, watching Carl ride Wanna Do. And I mean, as everyone does, just watching dressage, you fall in love with it and you want to do more and more.
Okay.
So I think that's probably why.
So let's talk about Wanna Do. He came to you after Carl's was a reserve with him to Rio, right?
Yeah, so the year after, Carl carried on competing, doing internationals, and then he came home mainly for a break, for a holiday. After, I think he went to Doha and competed, came back and had a break, and it was kind of what mum wanted to do with him next, whether she wanted to start riding him, whether whether we would lease him to someone. I mean, we were never going to sell him.
Okay.
You know, he was always going to be ours. He's literally a member of the family. We've had him since he was 6, and he's given so much to my mum and Carl and now me. You know, selling him was just never on the cards. So I was fortunate enough that mum didn't want to grab him back too much, and that I could gain the experience on him. And I think it's, you know, looking back, I wish I could do it all over again. But I think it was nice for him because he was doing things more for the enjoyment. You know, he was teaching me everything, but it was just less pressure.
Okay, so you would say that you owe him what you know now about dressage?
Yeah, I owe him everything. I think I owe him how ambitious I am, how much I love the sport, everything I know. every aspect of my riding. I think I owe him everything. I mean, he's probably made me fall in love with Grand Prix, and I want to be riding Grand Prix all the time. He's made me extremely ambitious. I've ridden, very lucky to have ridden such a talented horse, and a horse that finds things so easy. And I'm lucky to still be able to ride him now and get on and do the tricks. And for him, it's literally a walk in the park. And so, yeah, I literally owe him everything and more.
Because I looked through your results, and you came quite fast from competing juniors, I think was him, right? To U25?
Yeah. I think I did one advanced medium on him. And then went straight and did Prix St George. I think I did about maybe, I don't know, it'd have to be a handful, 3, 4. And then I got the call up to do a Young Rider International. So this is my first season doing this, to go to Hagen to basically try and get on the Europeans. I mean, all of this was very kind of new to me. And then I think it was 2 years of Young Riders, I think. Actually, it must have been less than that, probably about a year, because in the following May, I did my first under-25 Grand Prix, and I remember
How old were you?
I must have been 21 or 20. Okay. And I remember thinking, you know, a lot of people said I was mad because I still had that year in Young Riders and I had the chance to get on the team. But, you know, it's crazy to say that, you know, Wanadoo's, the best thing about him is his Grand Prix work, and that's what he wanted to do. And I wanted to make the most of it. You know, he was getting a bit older by then. I wanted to make the most of all the tricks that he could do and learn as much as I possibly could. It wasn't that I was like, no, rush, I've got to do the Grand Prix. I want to make the most of this amazing horse that I have and everything that he can do. So I went to Somerford in May, despite what everyone told me to do. And I went and did the Inter 2 and the Under 25 Grand Prix, and I think I got 67% in the Inter 2 and then won, and got 69% in the Under 25 Grand Prix and won.
Wow. Was your mom on the group that was saying that you were mad, or supporting you in your...
I'm lucky enough that Mum is very laid back, and Mum is very much on board with most things that I tell her or ask her about. So I guess she was more on board, but I think she always knew it was a risk. But she's just very supportive, so I'm very lucky.
And the next horse you have here also is Piedmont, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about him.
So, stable name is Pai. He's been with us just before we went into lockdown, so it's coming up, well, just over 2 years now. And I literally rode him in the January, and he was at Carl's Yard. He'd been at the Carl's Yard for 2 months. My mum had gone up there to see Pete, and Carl said, I've got this lovely horse in, see what you think. Meg might want to try him. And I was very lightly looking for a horse, obviously to come behind Wanadoo. And I went up and rode him. And
was it the first year of COVID, right? 2020?
Yes, exactly. And then I tried him, had him vetted, really liked him, and Carl very much believed in him. And then I went to compete Wanadoo in Sweden, and I literally came back end of February and picked him up. Thankfully so, because we literally went into lockdown a month after that, so it was quite a good time for us to train and get to know each other.
How old is he?
He this year will be 13.
Okay.
He's a gelding. He's massive. He stands at about 18.2.
Wow.
He's huge. He's bi-painted black. He's gorgeous. I mean, all the judges just love him because he's just this big black beauty, and he's so elegant, unbelievably light on his feet for such a big horse. And he's he's unbelievably talented. He's got such a sensitive character, and he has no idea how good he is. And he's in the stable, he's so shy, he's so timid, you know, he will just stay in the stable all day, be in the back of the stable. He doesn't need any attention. That is just very much him. He's a shy character, but yet when you ride him and you see him work, you think, you know, how does he not have the most confidence in the world? Because he's utterly unbelievable. He's probably, you know, he's just exceptionally talented, and I don't think he's really shown everyone, or we haven't shown everyone how talented he is yet, and I'm hoping that is to come. Because I really believe he could be a very, very special horse.
What's the plan for him?
The plan is to bring him out later this year. I'm hoping to do my first international by the end of the year.
Okay.
I kind of took it very slow last year because when I got him, he'd never competed, you know, for the whole 11 years that he's been ridden, etc. He's never competed. So for me, getting him out internationally is something that I want to do when I'm ready.
Are we talking Grand Prix?
Yeah, he'll do an under 25 Grand Prix, yeah. So hopefully we'll do one before the end of the year and then, you know, enjoy my under 25 Grand Prix last year and next year and make the most of that. And as Carl keeps saying to me, he's a senior Grand Prix horse, and so hopefully he will be the one that does that for me in the years to come.
Okay, he's never competed?
I've competed him beginning of last year, but before that he'd never competed. So I think altogether he's probably done about a handful of shows now.
Okay. And you're looking to do international in the UK or to go out?
First in the UK, but hopefully abroad.
Okay.
That's very much, the plan.
Interesting. And what would you say was a highlight of your competition career?
I would have to say probably taking Wanadu to Gothenburg and competing in Sweden. It was just unbelievable.
I saw the video and the crowd looked amazing.
Yeah,
it really looked very great
it's
atmosphere.
It's like our Olympia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge stadium. The arena's unbelievable. The music is unbelievable. The talent, the standard, the arena, just everything is amazing about it. And I really think that Wanadu did 3 of the best tests he's ever done. And I mean, 2 days of solid travelling. And he comes off the lorry like a 6-year-old. And I mean, he literally almost galloped through Trot Up. And I remember after the Trot Up, I went up to my mum and she was crying. And I was like, why are you crying? And she was like, because he's amazing. He was 19 and, you know, he does 2 days of travelling and he comes off the lorry and he looks amazing. I think just the whole week was amazing. So I think that would probably be for the highlight.
Wow, because I have to say nowadays we can see a lot of horses retiring at the age of, 13, 14.
Yeah.
And when I hear all the stories about horses who go up to 20 competing internationally, scoring these marks, it's really unbelievable. And it says a lot about how, with proper management, with proper care, horses can go till 20 years.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, most definitely. I think they're rare. Some horses can't cope with it, some horses can. I'm very lucky that Wanadu has just always been like that. He finds it very, very easy, and clearly his body does as well. And I mean, I know that I could probably take him out next week and he'd go around a Grand Prix and probably still outshine me, but he's just unbelievable. He just finds that quite easy.
And so you've been training with Carl with all of your horses, right?
Yeah, so I think my first lesson actually with Carl was on Bo, my mum's other gelding. Probably it must have been 5-6 years ago now, probably. And I had a few lessons on Bo, and it was good because he was really tricky. So it was definitely a tough lesson. I learned a lot by riding a horse like him, and then obviously started riding Wanadu when he was up there, and then taking him up there and having lessons when he'd come home. And obviously now I've taken Pai up there a lot, and it's really nice. I'm fortunate enough that Carl knows Pai and Wanadu very well, and he's ridden them a lot, so it's nice to have that because I mean he knows Wanadu pretty much as well as we do.
We're going to be cheeky and I'm going to ask you, give us please some secrets that Carl shares with you during the trainings.
Some secrets,
some tips, some little,
Gosh, I'm sure there are loads. I honestly couldn't even think of one, to be honest, because there's just so many little things that he says all the time that you think, why is that so annoyingly simple? Yeah. But it just works with every single horse. And it's just funny how those simple things, they just come so naturally to him, and everything is just so easy, and we're there kind of getting annoyed and we find it so difficult, and he just finds it easy. I mean, he's just easily the most talented rider, trainer, horseman that I've ever met, and I think we might ever meet. He's just unbelievable. He finds it so easy. He just gets on Pai and everything's just so effortless, and the horses just want to do everything for him. And so I think honestly with Carl, probably actually one of the biggest tips is just the way he is with horses and the way he knows them and the way he manages them. You know, as soon as he go, okay, like, you know, that's enough now, take them for a trot around the field, take them for a hack. You know, just those little things that we probably all just skim over a little bit too much, but they're vital to him. It's like when we were at the games last week, he was like, oh, Pete's going to go in the field and I can't wait, and he can be relaxed and he can have a cant around. Like, that's just the way he manages horses. So when he gets on a horse, the horse is feeling 100% and wants to give him 100% because they're having a nice life. And that's probably, you know, we owe him why Want to Do is still with us now and having such a long career, because of the way he manages them and the way he keeps them. And I think there's a lot of things that Carl can't even teach because they're just natural to him. He finds them easy. You know, we literally have to follow him around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 50 years to be as amazing as he is. So, but to learn anything from him is pretty special.
Do you think he'll ride L'Amour at some point just for fun?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll beg him. I will definitely get him to.
When this happens.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so.
And so, Megan, I know that you co-own L'Amour with someone. And I just want to know, of course you say that you're not putting any pressure on yourself or anything like that, but obviously owning a horse with someone else puts some pressure, if I may say so.
Yeah.
Do you feel any of that?
Funnily enough, I don't. At the time of purchasing L'Amour, I did. I think because we me, Michael and Stephen, we haven't owned a horse before together. And they've never owned a horse with someone like this, and neither have I. So we're both going in this, the blind leading the blind, which is probably a good thing. But I guess I felt a little bit of pressure, mainly to make the right decision on buying the right horse. But with L'Amour, as I kept saying to them, I wouldn't be this persistent if I wasn't sure. And I knew straight away this was a good decision and this was a good horse to purchase. So that just filled me with confidence. And L'Amour ever since has filled me with that confidence. He's just been amazing. He's more than I ever could have asked for in a horse. So I guess that removes a little bit of the pressure. And of course, when you own a horse, it's a huge commitment and we all want to do well. You know, me and Stephen and Michael will say, we all want to go to the Olympics. They want to own a horse that goes to the Olympics. I want to ride a horse that goes to the Olympics. Of course we all do. And I will do everything in my power to make sure L'Amour's as successful as he possibly can be. But Stephen and Michael are unbelievable and they're so supportive in everything they do. And I think also the best thing about them is they're in it because they love horses. Not because they are desperate to be the biggest, best new owners or do anything like that. They just love the horse and they love L'Amour and they love being a part of the fun. I can't wait for them to come to shows with me and support me and, you know, hopefully travel and do all of these exciting things. Like, if you're not in it for that, you're in it for the wrong reasons. And so I guess with them, they make me feel at ease. They make me feel confident. They make me feel happy about the decisions I'm making, and L'Amour does as well. So maybe if the situation was different and things were going wrong with L'Amour and they were putting pressure on me, but I don't know whether I would want to work with someone who wants to put me under that pressure. I had goosebumps
just now when you were talking about this, because it is indeed so. That's what you are in for. If you want to, you know, have horses, it's not about winning and it's not about getting the score. It's just enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Wow, I think I had an insight now. I'm living my life wrong.
So yeah.
But of course, wow, Megan, it's really also impressive to see how you think and talk about it, because many girls, you know, at our age, especially when there's all this young and under 25 classes where you can not compete with Isabel Tours and Charlotte Dujardin, but actually do something and prove something. Many of them, you know, try to get into that train and do the best, but you seem so chill, and I really think that's the attitude to actually do the great things.
I think so. I think it's difficult because, as we say, we want to make the most of the under 25 Grand Prix classes, as I would say the same, because as you say, once you're out of that, you are competing with the top lot, you're competing with the seniors. And don't get me wrong, I want to make the most of it. You know, that's why I want to do up to doing the under 25 Grand Prix, and that's why I want Pais to do it as well. I want to make the most of it. You know, as I just said, I want to compete at Grand Prix. That's what I want. That's what I really enjoy, and I hope that I can keep doing that for as long as possible and enjoy every single time I do a Grand Prix test and make the most of it and learn as much as I can. And of course I want to be competitive and I want to achieve things, but at the end of the day I think I've learned, as you always do with the younger horses, with the horse like the more, you know, at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying it, then you're not doing it for the right reasons. And there's a lot more important things to life, and if you enjoy the journey, then everything else will come.
Okay, and you are on the Podium Potential program. What does that mean?
So the World Class program, there's 3. So there's the Podium Pathway, the Podium program.
Can you repeat that again?
So there's like the P1 and the P2 and the P3. So the P1 is Charlotte, Carl, it's, you know, the British team. And then you have the Podium Potential, and then you have the Podium Potential Pathway, which is what I'm on.
Okay.
So there's me and I think like 2 handfuls of other riders, all young riders and under 25 Grand Prix riders, and a couple of, you know, under 25 going on to senior riders. So it's a 2-year program. So it ends at the end of this year for me. We have trainings every, I think it's 3 months. So obviously I took L'Amour to the one I had just a couple of weeks ago, and then I have the next one in November. And it's just probably the most incredible training program I've definitely ever been on or heard of. You basically go and you have from working with Gareth Hughes as the trainer to working with judges, you're working with Isabel Vessels, and then you've got full assessments of all the horses, which is vet, farrier, saddler, physio, absolutely everyone.
For free?
Yes. You know, assessing your position, assessing my fitness, assessing just everything like that. It's probably the most in-depth analysis you could have asked for, but it's amazing and I've learned so much from it. And I mean, I'm literally so excited every single time a training is coming up.
How
because
often
it's
does it
amazing.
happen?
Every 3 months.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I applied with the scores I was getting with Wanadu, and I took him to the training, and I think the year that I went there was more riders than any other year that they'd had. So I was not thinking I would actually get selected. So when I did, I was over the moon to be competing with other riders who are extremely successful and extremely talented. And luckily I've obviously had Pie and other horses join me on that team. And, you know, you can take the younger horses, you know, they don't have to be your top level horses and everything like that. So it's truly amazing. And I'm hoping that, you know, I'll reapply at the end of this year so I can do it for the next 2 years.
Amazing. It's really good initiative that Great Britain is doing for the riders.
It's really, really
Wonderful.
amazing.
And Megan, to complete our day today, we're going to have a quick blitz.
Okay.
So please answer without thinking, okay?
Okay.
Dressage, talent or money?
Talent.
Okay. Most wonderful horse you've ever ridden?
Wanadu.
That was quick. Are you afraid to fall?
No.
If not dressage, then what? It's a tough one, I know.
If not dressage, then I don't know, something to do with horses. Something probably not riding, but something else to do with horses. Couldn't tell you a good answer because I don't have one. But yeah, something on the sidelines, being a part of the team still. I couldn't tell you. I'd be a show jumper and eventer because I'd be lying. So yeah.
Thank you a lot, Megan, for having us today. It was a great talk with you. And I really think that those who will be watching us, they'll be able to, you know, catch that spirit and mindset that you have, you know, training on the world-class program and going to international shows, and at the same time being so chill and relaxed and, you know, wonderful with your horses. I really admire you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. It's been fabulous.
Thank you everyone for watching. This was True Horses. Please make sure to subscribe and like this video. Bye-bye.